What is up lads, how's it going, and welcome back to the channel. The first round of the Champions League group stages has just ended with a heavy defeat for Liverpool against Napoli, but looking back towards their FPL, thankfully I was at a lecture picnic at the weekend to distract me from a Gameweek 6 that was very disappointing for most FPL managers. In this video, we'll be looking at how I fared out in Gameweek 6, and we'll also be looking at my transfer plans and team selection ahead of Gameweek 7. Let's get into the video. Before we get into our Gameweek 6 review, the big news from yesterday was the postponement of the Brighton and Palace game in Gameweek 8. It's not the most ideal situation for me as a Sanchez and Gross owner with a non-playing Iverson on the bench, and this postponement could well lead me into an early wildcard in Gameweek 8. With that news out of the way, let's see how I fared out in Gameweek 6. The game week started off in the worst possible fashion, with Robertson starting on the bench against Everton. To make matters worse, Trent was hauled off after 59 minutes, which led to him missing out on the clean sheet, and Robertson was brought on, which meant Neco Williams was left on my bench. Salah was unlucky not to return, hitting the post late on, but the only silver lining was changing the arm out to Haaland on Saturday morning. It was a disappointing start to the game week, and was definitely a sign of things to come. Things went from bad to worse during the 3 o'clock games, with my new signing Jack Harrison being hauled off at half time as Leeds looked to switch formations to a 4-4-2 as they were chasing the game against Brentford. Reece James also picked up a yellow card and lost his clean sheet, bringing an end to a disappointing 3 o'clock games. Things took a slight turn for the better in the half-5 game, with my captain Haaland scoring and grabbing all 3 bonus points. It meant my armband switch from Salah to Haaland Saturday morning paid off, and I've now got 5 out of 6 successful captain picks. Haaland now hasn't blanked in 6 games, which is a ridiculous return from the Norwegian striker, but unfortunately Cancelo lost his clean sheet, which brought an end to an extremely disappointing Saturday of FPL. Moving on to Sunday's games, Pascal Gross got an assist, but I was somehow disappointed in the fact he only returned once from 10 Brighton returns. My transfer of Sanchez in for Ramsdale didn't pay off, especially with Brighton's game now called off in Gameweek 8. The last game of the game week saw my Arsenal attacking duo blank against United, but as a United supporter, I'd take their blanks any day of the week in return for 3 points. All in all, it was a very disappointing Gameweek 6, with just Haaland and Pascal Gross returning, and this led to me returning 36 points in Gameweek 6. Unfortunately, I've doubled my rank, and I'm now sitting at 947k overall. With big questions arising this week of when is the best time to wildcard, let's have a look at the pros and cons of wildcarding in either Gameweek 8 or Gameweek 9. If you have 2 to 3 Brighton players in your team, wildcarding in Gameweek 8 will allow you to jump off these players for the Gameweek 8 postponement. Wildcard teams in Gameweek 8 and Gameweek 9 will definitely be very similar, so wildcarding in Gameweek 8 will allow you to gain on team value. You'll also be able to offload on Chelsea and Liverpool players as they face each other in Gameweek 8. If you can afford to wait to wildcard in Gameweek 9, it will give you extra time over the international break to reassess and wait and see if there's any injuries to your players. Wildcard in Gameweek 9 also allows you to load up on Chelsea players for their favourable run of fixtures. It will also let you hold on to your Arsenal players in Gameweek 8 for their favourable fixture against Brentford, and it will allow you to take a punt on players in Gameweek 8 where United face Leeds and Spurs face Leicester. There is no right or wrong time to wildcard, so if your team needs a refresh, don't be afraid to press the button. I'm currently leaning towards the Gameweek 8 wildcard as I own 2 Brighton players and don't have a playing keeper on my bench. Let's see how Gameweek 7 fares out before I press the button. Looking ahead to Gameweek 7, here's a few tips you should be considering ahead of the deadline. With a reminder of the postponement of the Brighton and Palace game in Gameweek 8, don't transfer in any of these players unless you're wildcarding in Gameweek 8. Don't be afraid to take a punt on a player this week if you're wildcarding in Gameweek 8 also. Arsenal and Leeds have the best fixtures to take a punt on if you're looking for a differential. Brighton also face Bournemouth, which is a good fixture too, but only bring in a Brighton player if you're setting a Gameweek 8 wildcard. If you're looking to wildcard in Gameweek 7 also, Mitrovic, Haaland and Isaac are the best front 3 to go with. With the Gameweek 7 tips out of the way, let's have a look at my transfer plans ahead of this week's deadline. After being rotated against Everton in Gameweek 6 and having played 90 minutes against Napoli last night, there's a big chance Robertson is rested against Wolves this weekend. I'll be waiting until the press conference on Friday before I make my move, but if it seems like Robert will be benched, Trippier will be making his way into my team. Newcastle have kept 3 clean sheets already this season, and with a nice run of fixtures coming up for them, this figure is set to rise for sure. As mentioned earlier, I'll be waiting until the press conference before I make my move, but it's very likely Trippier will make his way into my team this week. If he does, my lineup is as follows: Sanchez in goals, Trent, Trippier, Cancelo and James in defence, Salah, Gross, Martinelli and Harrison in midfield, and Haaland and Jesus up top. With the lineup sorted, let's have a look at my captain pick for Gameweek 7. In the current form Haaland is in at the moment, I definitely can't look elsewhere for the Airman this week. He hasn't blanked in the first 6 games, and over these 6 games he's got 3 double-digit hauls, leading to 10 goals and 1 assist. He's also on penalties, and he'd definitely be the highest captain player this week. It's a slightly tougher fixture for City against Spurs, but in the form he's in, he can score against anyone. I'll be waiting until the Liverpool press conference on Friday before I make my moves with Robbo, so for now, I'm currently not locked into my moves. Don't forget to follow me at FPL Éire on Twitter and Instagram, where I'll post my locked in team before the deadline. If you've made it to the end of this video and you're not subbed to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and drop us a comment below. I'll be live streaming on YouTube Saturday morning before the deadline, so I'll see you all then. There you have it. There's my Gameweek 7 team. Best of luck for Gameweek 7, and I'll see you in the next video.